The young Chicago Bulls put on a show in the second half of this game, but unfortunately, the team still falls short in a loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. But it's preseason, so it's not just about the win or loss, it's about the progression you see from the players. And we saw progression from quite a few players that we wanted to see in this preseason period. We're going to talk about all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this game for the night. And the Chicago Bulls put on a show tonight. I get it. The Bulls did not come away with the victory. But if you watch this game, you know, it was more about the win or loss. We got to see progression from a lot of the players that we wanted to see. And THT may have just solidified him getting that last roster spot over Onuralp Bitim with his performance down the stretch tonight. Again, not against great competition. It was against the Memphis Grizzlies third string at that point in time. But the fact that Onuralp did not get in this game at all could start indicating who and what the Bulls are really looking at to make their final roster. But we'll get into that here in a second. Zach LaVine had a really good game today, only playing 22 minutes, going 9 of 12 from the field, 6 of 6 from three-point line. The Chicago Bulls actually shoot the three ball really good in this. 41% from the from three-point line, 20 of 48, which is kind of right around where the Bulls want to be as far as the number of three-point shots taken. But that's give me 1 second. Let me refresh this real quick. Let's fix the clarity. Sometimes restream just be wilding. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. Let me know if that looks better. But with that said, Zach LaVine, 9 of 12 from the field, 28 points. Overall, the team shoots pretty good from the field in the way that you want them to. Rebounds the ball pretty well. 46 rebounds. This is 158 for the Memphis Grizzlies, but you know, that is what it is. 26 points on 40 made baskets is not bad when it comes down to that. But you know, you got that. Josh Giddey, 23 minutes played, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks from Josh Giddey, 2 turnovers. So that a solid game from Josh Giddey in regards to the type of game that he played. He was trying to set up his teammates. Ayo Dosunmu, 14 minutes in this game. He does not play in the second half. He goes down with the shoulder injury, so that takes him out of it. He has 7 points. Vooch has 7 points. But overall, take away the stats from the starters. The second half of this game, you got to see Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, Modest Bucilis cook. And I know Modest Bucilis did not shoot the ball good tonight at all, but he made some really heads-up defensive plays. That block on Zach Edey was a really good one as well. He continues to get in. I think he got about 2 deflections in this game. Didn't shoot the ball well. And the thing that we are looking at with Modest Bucilis is definitely how effective can Modest be when his shot isn't falling? And I think it says a lot that Billy Donovan kept him on the court. He let him work through his mistakes. He let him work through his cold shooting because he was still giving something with that. So it is what it comes down to. Dalen Terry as well, 11 points, 4-7 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range from Dalen Terry. He flashes that stuffing ability that Dalen Terry has. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That's the impact that Dalen Terry can have. That's what he can have. The growth from Dalen Terry is really good as well. You can see it out there. There's somebody after the last game that said, hey, Dalen Terry doesn't bring anything to the Chicago Bulls. And I'm like, what are you watching? Dalen Terry is actually playing pretty good in this preseason period, really keeping heads up, making heads up energy type plays. And no way I'm saying that Dalen Terry is a guy who should be playing 30 minutes every single night, but he is showing that you can put him on the court and trust he's going to make some type of plays for you. And that's what I want to see from Dalen Terry as well. Overall, Julian Phillips, you got to give Julian Phillips the game ball today. We're going to get into THT down the stretch, who played really good for the Bulls as well. But Julian Phillips, 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 8 from three-point range. He went 4-4 in his first three-point shot attempts made. He has 8 rebounds, 1 assist in this game as well. Only 2 turnovers, 21 points. Julian Phillips played an amazing game today. And I think it's something to be said that he played the most minutes coming off the bench. He played the most minutes on the team today, did Julian Phillips. And I think Julian Phillips is probably going to have a role on this team going into next season. And that's what I like to see. Julian Phillips is bringing a lot of what you need and you want from an energy guy. He's showing back confidence in that three-point shot. All those type of things is really good to see from Julian Phillips because those are things that you wanted to see him work on when he came down to. And then THT. You got to give it up to THT. I was not impressed with him in the last game. Still in this game, he was up against third string to G League competition, but you got to give it to him. I said last game, the reason why I wasn't impressed is because he didn't stand out when he played. He stood out today. I mean, and I think most of his work was done in the fourth quarter. Hold on, let me change this breakdown by quarter. I want to see what THT did in just the fourth quarter. Yeah, everything that THT did was in the fourth quarter. THT goes 5 of 11, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and 16 points, all in the fourth quarter. Yeah, THT got that last roster spot. I listen. Ernolop isn't getting Ernolop Batum, Kenny Lofton Jr., EJ Liddell did not play at all in this game. Those are guys, EJ Liddell and Kenny Lofton, we know they're destined for the G League. That was kind of already written as they were destined for the G League. The players that were competing for the final roster spot on the Bulls was THT and Ernolop. And the fact that Ernolop is not playing at all and THT is having a performance like that in the fourth quarter, we'll see. We'll see. Reginald, so here's the thing, though. And let me educate you on this one. THT cannot be assigned to the G League. He's too much of a veteran. Now, he can sign a G League contract, but the Bulls can't assign him to the G League. So in this type of performance, some team's going to offer, even if the Bulls don't, if the Bulls weren't to offer THT an actual contract, some team's going to offer him a contract with the way that he's performed for the Bulls so far. Now, there's still 3 preseason games left. It can drastically shift. Ernolop can look amazing in the last 3 preseason games, or maybe THT looks terrible the last preseason games. But as of right now, somebody's going to offer THT a contract if the Bulls do not. That just is what it is when it comes down to it. So I get what you're saying on that. But listen, even with THT and that 40-year-old hairline, that boy balled out today. And you can't hate on that. Like anybody who is objectively watching the basketball game, you can't hate on the way that THT performed tonight. You just can't. You can't. So that's what it comes down to. But let's get to some stylistic things with this Bulls team, right? I want to break this down for the Bulls right now. So the Bulls, even though they are trying to shoot better, right? They had a 53% true shooting percentage today. That's really, really good. They had an effective field goal shooting percentage of 50%. That's really, really good as well, right? The Bulls are playing, they played efficient basketball today. It wasn't always pretty. It was still sloppy at times, but they were efficient. They were efficient in the way that they did it. And so you got to give them credit on that. The Bulls didn't really score a lot on the fast break, though. That's something to continue to look out for as well from this Bulls team. When you look at it, when it comes down to it, the Bulls only took 8 fast break field goals today. Now they went 8 of 12 on the fast break. That's really good efficiency. That's what you want to see from the Chicago Bulls team. They also finished with an offensive rating of 108.2. That's really, really good. So this Bulls team is playing really effective and efficient basketball right now. And you got to give them credit for that. 55% true shooting percentage. That's really fucking good, man. That's really, really good. You can't deny that. That is really, really good. And so, yeah, the Bulls are looking good right now. They went 19 field goals made out of 41 in the paint. They got to tighten that up. You can't go 46% in the paint in a game during the regular season if you want to win that. And then also 5 of 10 on second chance points. So the Bulls are getting the energy things. That's what you like to see from a Chicago Bulls team, a team that's trying to figure out their offense. So I got to give them credit on those type of things. I really like that offensive efficiency that they're flashing right now. If they can stay between like 55 to 58% as far as efficiency, true shooting percentage, I think that's a really good place for them to be in. And so we'll see what they do. Overall, there's definitely some windedness that happened from some of the Bulls in this game as well, where you can tell that they were a little bit winded down the stretch of this game. That's going to come with conditioning. They're playing at a faster pace. So that's just what it comes down to as well. But Billy Donovan said that they need to be the best conditioned team in the league, and they're not that right now. Now, can they get to that? That's what we'll see. What happens? What happens down the road? But overall, the Bulls stylistically played a lot better, especially when you look at Kobe's missing. I was missing for half the game. Zach LaVine was rocking and rolling. Vooch is still Vooch when it comes down to it. And Patrick Williams, I tell you what. And again, I'm not giving up on Patrick Williams necessarily for his career on being a solid, at least role player. But if you're talking about high-level starters, I've been telling you guys for years, there are dogs behind Patrick Williams, Modest Bucilis, and Julian Phillips for that matter. I hope that the dynamic forward pairing that we're looking for the Bulls are going to be Patrick Williams and Modest Bucilis. But we very well could be seeing the future of the Bulls forward, the small forward and power forward, be Julian Phillips and Modest Bucilis. That literally could be our starting forward combination. Because I tell you what, the way Julian Phillips is locked in right now, if this maintains throughout the regular season and Modest keeps up his energy and what he's given, I tell you what, if Patrick Williams keeps being passive P, I mean, he did take 9 shots today in 18 minutes, so I'll give him credit for that. 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Give you credit for that. But, Patrick Williams missed the alley. Like, it's just, you got to keep monitoring it, and we'll see how that develops for Patrick Williams. Not writing them off yet. I'm just saying you got to start paying attention to it because, it could get to an area where it's not looking good for Patrick Williams, but we'll see how that grows and develops for him. Australians are free, says Sanogo can't even get minutes in preseason games. Get the fuck. Yeah, it's wild to see. Wild to see. Definitely wild to see. THC got damn near the same build as Barkley at 23. That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy. Man, I'm really liking THT, bro. Like, we all like some THC. There's nothing wrong with that. It's legal most places. Embrace your THC. But his name's THT. And Dalen. Yeah, Dalen Terry is really showing me something for sure. Markel in the building says, I don't know if anyone has said this yet, but I'm going to start calling them the Scrappy Bulls. Hey, I ain't mad. I'm glad they played with some heart. They definitely played with some heart, especially the young guys in this one. It seems to me that Patrick Williams was just trying too hard tonight, and that could be a case, right? He could be pressing, understanding that he didn't play the way he wanted to in that first game, and maybe he tried to do a little bit too much today. That's definitely a possibility out there, right? DJ Reese B says Phillips over Patrick Williams. I mean, I think a lot of people may agree with you. THT thought he was Matt Barnes on that last play. That's funny. That's funny. I like to call out the haters for suggesting trying Giddey to replace Pat at PF. Billy started Phillips and Giddey as small forward, power forward to start the third, and they went on a big run to start with really good D. Really good D. Hey. THC looks like he never evolved from caveman to human. He did all right. That's funny. That's crazy. Giddey defensively low-key was about. Listen, Giddey defensively, he's given effort, though. And I got to give him credit for that. He's given effort at least. But, it's leaving a lot to be desired right now. Horns Over Hoops podcast. What up, Haize? Thoughts on Julian Phillips' performance tonight? Amazing. I love the way that Julian Phillips performed today. I love the effort that he gave. I love that he didn't back down from shooting. Julian Phillips played a great game today and really showing like his overall potential. And I think people forget, right? With Julian Phillips, it's easy to forget. But if Julian Phillips had shot better in college, he would have been a lottery pick. Not just a second-round pick, a lottery pick. He was one of the highest recruited players in his high school class. So there's tons of potential in Julian Phillips. Tons of it. The Bulls just got to hope that they're going to be able to untap that. That's for sure. I like Terry, but sometimes he tries to do a little bit too much, like running over a midget. Come on, man. That's hilarious. That's funny. Billy sucks. Didn't give Kenny no tick. I mean, listen, at this point, like, I think that's just telling you that Kenny has no chance to make this actual team. He's going to be on a 2-way contract. I was on your ass last game for saying THC didn't look good. You think he looked good today? Yes. There's, like I said, objectively, you cannot fault him for how he played today. You just can't fault him for how he played today. P. Will was undersized and defended better than Vooch on bigger play. Hey, listen, I will give it credit. Offensively, P. Will was trash. When P. Will was in there as a small ball center, he looked pretty damn good defensively. You're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right on that one. Wasn't this the carcass Grizzlies? Yes. So this wasn't even, let's see, how much of the Grizzlies projected starting rotation actually played today? Let's just see. John Morant didn't play. Marcus Smart didn't play. Desmond Bane didn't play. Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't play. G.G. Jackson didn't play. Vince Williams didn't play. That's like 6 members of their top 8 that didn't play in this game. So, take that for what you will, right? Like, so, take that into consideration when you're talking about this as well. Modest didn't look like a negative 24 player tonight. Plus minus didn't do him just. Well, that's why I say plus minus isn't a good thing if you're trying to indicate a player's overall value, right? It's something to look at, right? But you want to pair that with the eye test. And so that plays a big role into that as well. Like, there's no perfect stat that just gives you everything a player did great or everything that a player did good, right? You got to piece it together, but you also have to watch, like I said, you got to look at that eye test. The eye test is hugely important for that as well. Julian Phillips snapped this game. Absolutely did. THT, bear down for THT. Bear down. I mean, he could probably be an offensive lineman for us. I can see that happening. He could probably, THT would make a really good fullback. THT would be a really good fullback. I think he'd be a good fullback. Put him in there, let him block for Roschon Johnson. I think he'll do pretty good on that one. How do you give Dalen Phillips, Modest, and Craig quality minutes off the bench? How do you give? How do I rate their minutes? I think they all played great in what they were asked to do, especially like they all did and exceeded at their role for what was needed in this game for sure. Duarte looked trash and threw our momentum out the window with the unnecessary fouls. Listen, and for all the people that at the beginning of the season were like, "Oh my God, you're underrating Chris Duarte. Chris Duarte could be one of the better two-way players on this team. Chris Duarte is this." Somebody even said Chris Duarte is going to be better than Ayo Dosunmu. You fucking weirdos. You weird fucking bastards. Like, why? Like, if you're going to pick a narrative, why pick a dumbass narrative, right? All you fucking weirdos. And I'm not saying all you guys in the chat, but all you know which motherfuckers you were that were talking about Chris Duarte being this great two-way player that was going to come off the bench and save the Chicago Bulls. That was going to be, oh my God, you guys are going to love you. You're underrating Chris Duarte. He's going to be so good. He's two-way. He can shoot the three. He can do this. Chris Duarte can't do shit. He looks and is playing like Denzel Valentine out there right now. He's the reincarnation of Denzel fucking Valentine. I've never seen a player in 4 minutes look so fucking bad. How do you have 4 turnovers in 4 minutes? 3 personal fouls in 4. You got 4 turnovers and 3 fouls in 4 minutes? What the fuck? You fucking weirdos. You weird ass bastards. Weird bastards. Julian has the hustle and smarts on the court. His 3-point shooting is butter. And listen, if he's going to shoot the 3 like that for a team that needs 3-point shooting, boy, I'm telling you. Seaway, who was at the game, says leaving the game. Zach looks like he's really playing for a new contract. Look good. Giddey is truly a pointless addition. P. Will looked horrendous. That's crazy. Wanted by no Bulls fan, Patrick Williams for robbing the Bulls of $90 million. I mean, he didn't rob them when they gave it to him. That's all I'm saying. They willingly gave it to him. Why is Chris Duarte always smiling? He's not doing anything. You know what? When you're just happy to collect a check, you just like, listen, if somebody took, because Chris Duarte is getting what, $4 million this year? Hold on, let me see. Okay, $4 million. If you got paid $4 million to play 4 minutes and to have 4 turnovers and 3 fouls in 4 minutes, and you getting paid $4 million on the year, you'd smile too. Absolutely. I'd be walking in the UC just smiling because $4 million to do what? 4 fouls? 3 fouls, 4 turnovers in 4 minutes? In 4 minutes? Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? I would love to see London ball with that second unit. London? Oh, Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball. Spell check got you on that one. With the second unit, when he gets on the floor, just to see how it looks. Oh, I agree with you. Like with the way that Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry are running the court, absolutely. You throw in Io DeSumo and Jalen Smith out there as well. Like, yeah, give Lonzo that unit. Give Lonzo that unit for sure. Watch replays on P. Will's defense only. Yeah, I mean, we'll go back. I like to watch the possession. I'm sure he played good defense. Julian Phillips looked great, played within the flow of the game, didn't force anything. 100% with that. 100%. Julian coming for that spot, and he put P. Will on notice to get ready for real to get real comfortable on the bench. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I can't believe I actually thought Julian Phillips should have been sent down to the G League. Hey, listen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Joe the Blacksmith in the building says it's nice to see this team have some young bruisers. Yeah, I mean, this is what it was about, right? When the Bulls decided to go younger, the whole purpose and what that was about is to give these guys an opportunity and to bet that your young guys are going to be able to take a step up. And a lot of them have so far been able to take that step up. So I'm just anxious to see Lonzo. I feel like he would get our fast break game right with his IQ alone. Very well could. Very well could. Bro, I don't know what your future topics you have to discuss, but maybe need to do a Patrick Williams starting spot, maybe in Jeopardy video if you haven't already. You see, this is how I know you don't really fuck with the content. Already did that, talking about him and Vooch 2 days ago. Already done. Boom, recorded in there, because I see the future is what we do. Like this is what we do here. I love how so early into Modest NBA career, you can see how even when he isn't working offensively, he's still finding ways to positively impact the team. And that's a big, big thing, right? When your shot isn't falling, go back to my draft analysis. The one thing that tells me a lot about how good Modest Bucilis is going to be is when his shot isn't falling, what are you still doing to impact this game? What are you still doing to help your team? How are you still getting positive output for yourself? And we're starting to see that Modest Bucilis has that, right? You got to give him credit for that one. Got to give him credit. Bro, I leave for 2 minutes. I came back and Haize cussing out Chris. It's not even Chris. Chris Duarte is who he is. I'm talking about the fucking weirdos who literally were arguing. Haize, you're a Chris Duarte hater. Why am I Chris Duarte? Because you didn't say he's one of the more promising young players on the team. He's 7 years old. No, I'm not going to put him in the same category as 22, 21, and 23-year-olds who haven't gotten to play a lot of fucking basketball. And then he comes out here and people literally had the nerve to say Chris Duarte is better than Io DeSumo. You fucking asshole. You fucking weirdo. Just weird. Just strange people. Strange and peculiar ass humans. Just weird. Weird. I hope Donovan gives Dalen. Man, it's why y'all make it more complicated to spell that man's name? Why y'all adding extra letters in there? Consistent minutes this season as Dalen reminds me of how Javonte used to play off the bench. That definitely could be his role. Definitely could be his role. Why couldn't we keep Javonte Green? I mean, we did well. Technically, we could have cut Ernelock to keep Javonte, but this team wants to go younger, so. And while THT has an older hairline, he is younger than Javonte Green. The energy around the Bulls right now kind of remind me of this time 3 years ago when Bulls got Zoe, Debo, Vooch, and AC. It was a fun Bulls team to watch. It definitely was a fun team to watch. I would rather have Batum on the roster over Chris Duarte. That Denzel Valentine clone could get. Unfortunately, has a guaranteed contract. It's not as easy as that. I wish it was like the NFL, but you tweaking on THT. I literally said THT played great today. What are you talking about? He played great today. But the Chris Duarte truthers, man. Oh my God. But Haize, what about Chris Duarte? Oh my God, Haize, you're a Chris Duarte hater. Bitch, shut up. Chris Duarte sucks. He fucking sucks. After this game, I don't want to ever Chris Duarte be compared to Io. Bro, it's like, come on, man. At some point, people got to try to stop being the smartest person in the room and just look at what the fuck's going on. Like, it's just, come on, man. What are we doing in this bitch? What are we really doing? Why do y'all want to stress me the fuck out? Why? That's the question. That's the $1 million question here. Is why do people wake up and they be like, you know what we want to do today? We want to stress out Haize. There's this daily content every day. The person that the moment that news drops, he drops an episode. We want to stress out that red bastard. Why is that what it is? Why is that what we doing? Why? Why? Fuck y'all too. That's what I got to say then. Fuck y'all too. How about that? Dubs in the building says that Zach Edey pick might push Memphis over some teams. Very underrated pick. They caught some heat for. Well, it's perfect for their team, right? And so I think that like they're used to playing with a player that doesn't necessarily move the fastest, like Steven Adams, right? So and he went to a team where as long as Jaren Jackson Jr. is healthy, he covers up a lot of the shortcomings of what Zach Edey has. So he really went to the perfect team for him. So we got to see what that's going to be. Haize, let's be real. P. Will is called the paw, right? I feel like now he's just a dog with paws running on the floor that just doesn't have a voice and runs with his paw. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all really killing P. Will. Y'all really killing P. Will. Those same guys who praise Chris Duarte probably tug one out of the poster of him on the back of the. That's crazy. That's very vivid, my boy. That's very vivid. That's very vivid. I mean, listen, to each their own, but that's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like Billy gonna F it all up. I'm hoping I'm not, but I'm thinking so deep inside. Listen, and if he does, we keep a top 10. Like, this is literally the year where I don't care what Billy Donovan does, right? Because if Billy fucks up everything, cool. We keep it. You can add a top 10 pick to Modest Bucilis and Iota Sumu and Kobe White and Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Like, listen, y'all gonna see a carefree Haize this season. You know why y'all gonna see a carefree Haize? Because I'm playing with house money. If my Bulls overachieve, we win in basketball games, I'm gonna be happy. If the Bulls suck and we lose in basketball games and we get to keep a top 10 pick, I'm gonna be happy. Now, if the Bulls go out and draft somebody that pissed me off, that's different, right? That's different. But it is what it is. Can we waive Duarte? I just don't see him as a fit on this team anymore. When you have other guards or forwards, whatever he is, his size playing well, THC even looks better than him. No, I mean, it's a guaranteed contract. So no, unfortunately, you cannot waive him. I mean, technically you can, but you still got to pay him all his money, right? And then it still counts against the cap. So even if you do sign somebody else in that place, then at that point you're going into the luxury tax. So it's not likely, brother. It's not likely. Speaking of Bubblegum Boy, how many years left on his contract after just one more after the season? Unless they gave him another secret contract extension that we don't know about, which is very possible as well. It's very possible. So that's also something to look out for because, again, we are the Chicago Bulls. If the Bulls don't land a top 2 pick in the next draft after a losing season, they should draft a big man. We lack for the big bodies on this team. No, I won't say that. Still should go best player available. Now that could still very well be a big. I'm not saying that it can't, but I think that where you are right now, this is a very deep draft coming up. This is where you want to still make sure you get the talent that you evaluate as the best talent. That's just my personal opinion. You draft for need when you're close. If the Bulls have a top 2 pick or even a top 8 pick this year, they're not close. You need talent. You focus on the talent first, in my personal opinion, right? I'm not saying you're wrong for viewing it that way either, because that is a really solid way to go about it too. I'm just saying that in my personal view, I don't think you draft for position necessarily when you have a talent deficit. You try to go after talent. Now, you don't necessarily want to draft a guard either, like he was with the depth that we have, unless you just think that guard is going to be the guy, right? So win-win. Only thing I'm worried about is not being good enough or not being bad enough, then winning the damn play-in and giving the Spurs a pick right outside of their protections. That is a horror story, and that is definitely a possibility with the Chicago Bulls team. That's definitely a thing. Haize, you have to remember with the Bulls, they could have the worst record in the league and still lose their pick. No, they can. Because keep in mind, even when you can only drop so far in the lottery. So if the Bulls have a bottom 3 record, the lowest that they can go in the lottery is 7th. So they would still keep their pick. So yeah, it's not that. And now, if being in the middle, right? If they have, let's say they have the 9th worst record in the league, if a team from behind them leapfrog them, then they can be right out of it. So, yeah, it's a dangerous game to play. Damn, so we got to wait for Duarte contract to run out like we did those Felicia. Oh, well, Chris Duarte is a free agent at the end of this year, though. He's a free agent at the end of this year. So that's why it's not a big deal. He's going to suck. He does suck. He's going to continue to suck. He's Tiana Taylor out there. I mean, whoa, Tiana Trump out there, not Tiana Taylor. Take that last one back. Tiana Trump out there. He's going to suck. And that's just what he's going to do. So we have to be in the top 10 in the next draft, no matter what. I mean, unfortunately, AK and Eversley don't see it that way. So we got to watch and wait and see what these idiots are going to do, because you just never though they're fucking weirdos as well. Felicio was making like 20 million a year. It's not that bad. And Felicio showed me something to get he did show something to get the contract, right? So how does this thing work for our first round pick? Oh, it's very simple. It's top 10 protected, meaning if our pick falls after the lottery in the top 10, we get to keep our pick. If it's outside the top 10, meaning anywhere from 11 going on, the Spurs get it. Can't they buy out Duarte? I mean, he would have to agree to a buyout. If he doesn't agree to a buyout, then that's waiving him. And then at that point, what I said still stands. So, and keep in mind, he has no reason to agree to a buyout unless they're going to give him all the money back on the buyout. They can use that big man from Duke. He's the guy. I really like him, but I like Malish, however you pronounce it. I know I murder that man's name every time I say it. If the Bulls have one of the worst records in the East this season, would that be worse than teams out West? The West is stacked, so whatever bottom team in the West, they'll probably shoot up rapidly. I mean, it's a lot of different permutations to it. Let's get into the season before we worry about that, but we'll see. Bulls getting that number 1 pick. You got a lot more faith than I do, fam. A lot more faith than I do. Has Stacey made a joke about THT yet? Because I know that shit must be hard, not to mention, listen, I couldn't do it. You talk about keeping player relationships. Somebody would see me after the game, be like, "Hey, why? My mom was watching the game. She heard you say that I have a 40-year-old hairline." And I'd be like, "Motherfucker, you do. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, you look like current Lawrence Fishburne. Like, not old school Lawrence Fishburne today. Like that's what you look like, bro. Like, you 23 years old. You had how you a millionaire and you rough looking? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But all right, y'all. Gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up, man. I appreciate you guys so much for everything and supporting the channel in the manner in which you do. I'll be back with the daily episode tomorrow. We also got an early Bears game tomorrow as well. The Bears play at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Chicago time. Pray for me. It's going to be a long day. Love you guys, man. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for supporting the channel. Make sure you're following the channel at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
Presentation of the Break Media.